Well, we're joined now from New York by Alina Habba, a lawyer for President Trump. Good evening. Good to have you with us on what is an incredible day for Donald Trump and, of course, for US politics and history. I understand you were with the president this week at some point. I'm not sure if you were with him when he found out about the indictment, but tell us about his reaction to it.
His reaction is not surprisingly resilient and strong. He has been obviously hearing the rumors, as all of Americans have, that this witch hunt, as he calls it, would be coming to fruition. We had hoped that that wouldn't be the case. Unfortunately, we learned, because the DA is not communicating or being transparent as they normally would through the press. So when we understood that there was an indictment, he took it. He, I think, was disappointed in the state of our country, as he has been for the past couple years, frankly. And this is just another example of how we need to take back the White House.
What was your reaction to the indictment? Were you shocked?
Yes, I was shocked. I think, I'm not sure, maybe not shocked. I was, it was another, here we go again. This has been his life since 2016, when he went down the escalator. You have to remember, they did this with the Russia hoax. They tried to take his kids down. They did this with his first impeachment, his second impeachment. And now we have a DA who has decided to bring what, to me, is the weakest and oldest, it's not even a crime. I'm not even sure what it is. It's barely a misdemeanor. He is somebody who, in the state of New York, has said that he doesn't believe in putting people in jail, and he believes in changing the federal crimes to misdemeanors. But for Donald Trump, has reversed it. He's, his PAC was gassed up by George Soros, a very big,
you describe it as barely a misdemeanor. Then are you saying that, as far as you understand what he's being accused of, he did actually do it?
No. It's a misdemeanor to do a book and record keeping violation. That is what we're understanding this to be. We still haven't seen the indictment. And the way this went, as everybody knows, is what Michael Cohen testified to, what his lawyers have said, which is that he initiated a payment to somebody who was effectively trying to extort him. And all I can say to you is this: I'm a lawyer and I represent a lot of people. And if people sign NDAs and get paid for it, or as an attorney, I pay people who try and extort someone because they just don't want to deal with it, and then those clients are somehow going to get indicted publicly, let alone a former president, that is a very sad state of affairs and very politically motivated.
Michael Cohen's lawyer, Lanny Davis, was on with me earlier, Alina, and he says that there is no allegation. It is very firm and established by prosecutors in the previous case where Michael Cohen went to jail, that Donald Trump directed him to make this payment. I would just direct everybody's attention to the federal prosecutors that already evaluated this and threw this case out, and also the FEC that looked at it for any campaign finance violations and threw it out. Frankly, Bragg did it as well. There is no consequence. There's no coincidence here. This is a political hack. He is leading in the polls, and quite honestly, they're helping him. He is up 30 points in the states. And the more they hit on him, frankly, the bigger his base gets and the stronger they get. So I'm sorry that Michael Cohen's even part of this discussion is quite honestly pathetic in itself. He is a very weak human being who, frankly, has made a complete career out of just bashing somebody that he's upset he doesn't work for anymore. Well, Michael Cohen was a trusted ally of the former president. He worked alongside him. He made this payment on his behalf and went to jail for it. And I want to pick up what you said about it being politically motivated. And I've heard phrases like selective prosecution throughout the day since this has come out, late last night UK time. I put that to Michael Cohen's lawyer, Lanny Davis, about this being a politically motivated indictment. And he says that other than Michael Cohen's testimony, there will be a mountain of evidence. And he has seen this being collated through conversations between prosecutors and Michael Cohen. There is a mountain of evidence, he says. There are facts.
Is that what you think? I'm sorry to tell you, but we know what he's testified to, right? Yes, but I can tell you when you state anything based on something out of Michael Cohen's mouth or any facts, we have other, and frankly, you're misstating something very important. Michael Cohen didn't go to jail for this. He went to jail for his own tax fraud. He went to jail for things that he did with medallions and the taxis. And he went to jail for, yes, so let's be clear on that. I don't take very kindly to anybody who takes his word, or frankly, a prostitute's, whatever she calls herself, Stormy Daniels. I know she has an OnlyFans page now, and you know, is taking Q&As, I believe, today on it. This is the quality of witnesses that we're dealing with here. Okay, so you can't lose sight of the fact that this is a stale case that has been heard already by the FEC and the federal prosecutors for a federal crime that a state-level DA is now trying to make a federal crime. So I'm looking forward to seeing what new revelations after almost a decade they think they have. But no matter what it is, you can't say it's not selective prosecution when it's already been prosecuted multiple times and dismissed. It is what it is.
Michael Cohen, to be clear, pled guilty for arranging campaign finance charges, including this payment to Stormy Daniels.
And medallions. I recommend you go back. He had several counts. There
was right, exactly. But this was one of them, right? And I appreciate you don't know what the indictment is because it's sealed, and we don't know what the exact nature of the charge is. But and we're kind of going round in circles in that sense. But it is there is an understanding, a tacit understanding, that these charges are related to Stormy Daniels, and therefore Michael Cohen's testimony will be crucial. And the fact that he's already admitted to making this payment and said that the former president directed him, that is an important piece of evidence, and they say that they have evidence to back it.
I believe there was a letter that was released that you should read from 2018 from his attorneys that stated that Michael Cohen did so on his own, took out a loan, and that he was in no way involved. And that is from his other attorneys, not Lanny Davis, who, by the way, I believe does not represent him anymore. So I would just fact check that as well.
It's interesting.
But I'm not here to talk about Michael Cohen. If you have any other... Yes, Michael Cohen to me is not a relevant
President
figure.
Trump.
I apologize.
I'd like to know how he plans to deal with this going forwards.
The same way anybody would deal with it. When somebody is bringing garbage charges, you hire attorneys and you move one thing at a time, and then you go to trial and you win.
And you said that you felt that his supporters, this only kind of strengthened his support because it shows the narrative building up against the president.
Yes, look at the polls. He's up 30 points over DeSantis right now. His poll numbers have gone up since this whole hoax started, and it will probably continue to. The country is angry. I know you're in the UK, but this country is angry.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of confusion here in the UK. But tell us about how you feel the anger might play out in the United States.
I think that everybody needs to go through the process of watching the trial. Let's get the indictment. Let's get the facts. Again, I'm not, as I said before, I'm not going to answer questions on things I'm going to speculate. We have to see the indictment. We have to see what the charges are. And then the attorneys that are handling this, which will be the criminal attorneys on the team who are brilliant, will go ahead and take this head on and go to trial.
I know that the president, the former president, also called on his supporters to protest this, to air their views about this. Are you expecting people to turn out on Tuesday when he arrives at the court?
I had court last week in Manhattan on Letitia James's case, the Attorney General's case, which I personally am handling, and I can tell you that there was support that day. There was tremendous support, and there were people waiting and cheering us on, and we're not even on the DA case. So I don't know. I would expect it. Donald Trump is probably one of the single most famous people in the world at the moment, and, he does tend to get a lot of attention.
Alina Habba, we're going to have to leave it there. Alina Habba, lawyer to President Donald Trump. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.